And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hi, I'm Tom Vasel.
And I'm Melody Vasel.
And today we're here talking about another game from the great company who makes some of the best children's games on the market, and that is Gamewright Games. Melody, once I caught a fish that was this big. Okay, maybe this big. Maybe this big. No, really. Anyway, this game is about the idea of stretching and making those tall tales about catching fish, with some really, really flashy cards and some really fun, entertaining gameplay. This is one the whole family is going to enjoy. There are two decks of cards in the game, a deck of lures and a deck of fish. The deck of lures simply has different colored lures along with the really shiny special super lure. But other than that, it has yellow and red and blue and green. The fish deck, on the other hand, has all different kinds of cards in it, and each card shows a fish that's a color and then a size of that fish from 1 to 4. And so you can see all kinds of different fish, but there's also junk cards. These cards all have no number on them because they are worthless. On your turn, when each player starts the game with 3 cards from each deck in their hand, and 4 cards from the one deck in their hand, and on your turn you play one of the lure cards in front of you. Each other player in the game, and there can be up to 6 players in the game, must then play face down. They must either play a fish of that color, or they can play trash of that color. If you have a fish of the color, then you must play it. If you have trash of that color, not of that color, but if you have trash, you can play it. You don't have to. If you have a fish, let's say you have a red fish in this instance, and you also have trash in your hand, you can play it. So if you have a red fish and trash, you can play either. If you just have a red fish, you must play one of them. If you just have trash, you may play it. You don't have to. So the only people who won't play cards are people who don't have red fish or trash, or people who just have trash. So then each player puts their card face down, and then the person who played the card gets to pick one. All right, Melody, why don't you go ahead and pick one of these cards? Which one do you think is a fish? Here, I'll tell you right now, this one I played, this one is a 4 red fish. I think you should take it. So she doesn't believe me. Which one does she get? Oh, trash. And so when you get trash, you get nothing. But let's say she picked the card that I told her to pick. Also trash. But let's say you picked a different card. All right, there we go. A 2 red fish. She would put that in front of her, face up, in her bucket, which would count towards points of her color. See, if she'd picked over here, she would have got a 3 red fish. So that's kind of useful, and it's a lot of fun trying to get other people to pick your color. The cards, as you might have noticed when I was showing them, they all have sparkle bubbles on them. The fish have really sparkly ones. So you can see they're catching the light here. And the cards are very good quality themselves. When someone plays one of these cards face down, one of the super lures, then everyone else must play a fish card down, if they can, of their highest number. So this is a way to guarantee that you'll get a fish. And Melody, go ahead and pick one of those cards. Which one? Go ahead, turn it over. 3 blue. Now, there's some alternate ways to play the game, and I would recommend playing with these if you have older children. One of those ways is to make trash cards worth a negative point if you get them, and those are put in your bucket. Another way to play is once you have 7 points worth of fish in your bucket, all the cards in your hand at that point also get put in your bucket and added to your number. And so those are some interesting ways to play the game. But basically, it's a game of trying to guess who is giving you a good card and who is offering you junk. The cards are really good quality. They're very bright and colorful. Kids love playing the game. How you play the game with kids is basically up to you. You could simply just put cards down and you pick one. Oh, look, you got a fish. Oh, too bad you got junk. Or you can do what I would do and say, Melody, this, I'm telling you, is a fish. A 4 fish. It's a wonderful card, and it's really junk. Or I would put out a good fish card and say, this is a good card. And she wouldn't take it because she thought I was just kidding. And so, but when we played that with my other daughters, a couple of them said, this is a 4. And it was a 4. This is a 2. You know, they didn't get the whole bluffing aspect of it down. But that's okay. You can still play with younger kids anyway. This might be my favorite Gamewright game. It certainly is a lot of fun. I enjoy the whole aspect of trying to figure out who is trying to pass that junk off to you and who is trying to give you a good fish. What do you think of the game?
I think it's really cool. The designing is really good. Of how they did. If you get light, you can put it in, it like shines brightly. I really like the designing, and the lures are cool. Mostly this one, and I like the game. It's good too. Also, I try to trick my dad sometimes, but he doesn't fall for them so well. But Amy, yeah, she's just confused.
Alrighty. Well, thumbs up for me, and I think thumbs up for Melody. Check this game out, especially if you have kids. Okay.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.